Now, sport for many of you may look like surfing. It may look like running a marathon. It might look like a martial art. That's an expression of all this hard work that's taking place in the gym. Now, here's the caveat to this foundation you've just built. If at any time your sport, whatever it may be, if at any time your sport starts to see what's called retrograde performance, meaning that here you are, things are going well, then all of a sudden, retrograde performance, things start to taper off. If at any time this happens, where do you think we have to go on this hierarchy? Where do we go?
Foundation.
The foundation, brother. Eric hit it out of the park. We go right back here to nutrition. That's the foundation of everything. And so often we forget that. So often we think that in the gym, while we're working out, we think that's when we're growing strong. That's when we're building muscle. It's not. Coach told me after my first exposure to the workout Fran, he said, Greg, when you go home and sit on the couch and turn on the TV, you're building muscle, brother. That's when you build muscle. It's not here in the gym. It's when you go home and you rest and you recover. So you can see the importance of nutrition, of supporting yourself when you're at home. So I think I've said 5 or 6 times, eat the right way. What does that mean? What does it mean to eat the right way? Well, we have a few different ways that we can start to flirt with eating the right way. And my recommendation is doing this incrementally. I want you to take the same approach to your nutrition that you're taking with me to your physical fitness. We're building a foundation. Every day we're making a little bit of improvement in our physical fitness. You can do the same thing with nutrition. These changes don't have to happen overnight. Let's do this as a group. Let's set a goal, a 1-month goal as a gym to start to eat the right way. We'll sneak into this. Easy does it. Let's talk about eating the right way. I've got some recommendations. The first one, number 1, this was coined by Coach Greg Glassman. I think it's brilliant. I'm going to tell you what each of these small acronyms mean. Our first approach to eating the right way is to simply get the right food going into our body. And by the right food, what we mean is meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little sugar, little starch, and no sugar. Some of you are like, yes. A little sugar? Yes. No sugar. So meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. So here's how this looks. If we went to the grocery store as a gym and started to shop, this would look like shopping on the perimeter of the store. We're not going to go down the aisles. What's on the aisles? What lives on the aisles? Processed foods. I walk down the aisle and I reach onto any given shelf. I take a product off the shelf and I look at the shelf life. 20, 30, 40 years. That's not food, my friends. Food is perishable. Food doesn't have a shelf life. Food dies. Healthy food dies. Real food dies. You have to eat it quickly. That's real food. And that's what I want you to start to consume. So that's number 1. We just eat the right foods. We get the right foods on our plate, in our refrigerators, in our bodies. Number 1. Now, consider this. Consider this. You could go to the gym and do bicep curls. Or you could go to the gym and do pull-ups. We know there's more value in doing the pull-up, right? We also know that there's immense value in taking the good skills that we're doing and quantifying them. Who's done Fran here in the gym? Okay, imagine this. Imagine that you do Fran, but I forget to time you. And I'm not really sure how much weight you had on the bar. I'm not really paying attention to your technique. Is there value in that? Well, you are doing this skill. You are doing pull-ups and thrusters, which we know is better than doing bicep curls. So there's value in the movement, but not as much value as had I timed you and had I ensured that you had good technique and had I told you the exact weight on the bar. That's quantifiable. That's real. That's a data point. We can come back and we can revisit that data point. So it's the same thing with nutrition. I'm going to draw a correlate between what we do physically and what we're going to start to do with our nutrition. And so ideally, we'll get the right food going into our body. But it's not enough. It's not enough. We also have to talk about proportions. And that's the correlate. So just doing the skills is good in CrossFit. It's good, but it's not enough. We've got to make sure we're doing them the right way, and we've got to start to time them. We've got to quantify them.